Hi, I'm Mia, 24 years old, professional overthinker, and freshly dumped. Buckle up, because this is the story of how I paid my brother $200 to be my fake boyfriend at my ex's wedding and accidentally started a whole new love story that had nothing to do with me. It started with a fancy ivory envelope that showed up 6 months after Jordan broke my heart. Inside, save the date, Jordan and Emma. I couldn't go alone and look pathetic, so I did the only logical thing. I waved two crisp $100 bills in front of my older brother Leo and said, "Be my devastatingly charming boyfriend for one night." He grinned, snatched the cash, and said, "For $200, I'll even cry on cue." The day of the wedding, we rolled up looking like a rom-com poster. I wore red on purpose. Leo wore the suit he saves for funerals and first dates. The second we stepped onto the lawn, my ex's face went the color of cheap Prosecco. Mission accomplished, or so I thought. Then, Leo locked eyes with Sophie, the maid of honor, and bride's older sister, across the ceremony aisle. She had this sleek teal dress and the kind of smirk that says, "I dare you." Leo forgot how to blink. I had to elbow him twice during the vows. At the reception, we got sat at the same table, because the universe has a sense of humor. While I was busy taking revenge selfies with the ice sculpture, Leo and Sophie started passing notes under the table, like we were back in 8th grade. Napkins flew back and forth, little doodled hearts, sarcastic one-liners, phone numbers written in frosting. I didn't notice until the slow song started and both of them vanished. I found them on the dance floor, foreheads almost touching, swaying like the rest of the world had been turned down to mute. Leo, the guy who once told me love was a scam invented by greeting card companies, was staring at Sophie like she'd hung the moon, and Sophie, who'd spent the whole night roasting every man in sight, was smiling so big her cheeks had to hurt. Later, under fairy lights in the garden, I finally caught up to them holding hands. I reminded Leo that I had paid for services rendered. He just shrugged and said the contract technically expired at midnight. Sophie laughed, pulled out her phone, and Venmo'd me the $200 on the spot with the memo for emotional damages and one gently used brother. So yeah, my evil plan to make my ex jealous worked perfectly, just on entirely the wrong couple. 6 months later, Leo proposed to Sophie with that same crumpled $200 bill, framed in a little shadow box. Jordan's wedding gift to them? A toaster they returned the next day. Moral of the story, never hire family for romance scams. You might end up related to someone you didn't plan on. If you loved this chaotic little love story, smash like, drop a comment, and subscribe, because next week, I'm telling the sequel. My brother's proposal went viral, and my mom still thinks it was my idea. See you then.